Now, as we head into the Christmas season, all my best to all of you that watch, whether you celebrate this holiday or not. There you go. Wish the best for you. Have some fun, relax, unplug from the world for a couple of days. Probably do a whole lot of people a whole lot of good. Just as much as we wish we could unplug from Bears football. Oh, God. I can imagine Bears fans sitting by the Christmas tree, writing out their letters to Santa Claus, and asking for a couple of things. Number one, please let these last 3 games just go by without anybody getting significantly seriously injured, namely Justin Fields. We don't need that for the future. We don't want that for the future. But most importantly of all, we just want the season to be done! Number 2, hopefully, not only asking for the firing of Matt Nagy, but also General Manager Ryan Pace and Team President Ted Phillips. Yes, no. I can even see the shit starting to stir up now. You guys know it too. You can feel it, you can sense it. People are sitting there saying, well, maybe you don't need to fire Ryan Pace if you can bring in Sean Payton. No. You have to set a standard that level of performance over 7 years is not good enough. Period. Fire his ass. Number 3, I hope all of you are thankful if you're Bears fans that this Bears team did not trade for Russell Wilson this year. Because the results of this team would not have been a whole lot different. And if you think they would have been, you are diluting yourself. It would have been really bad too. Oh God, this game on Sunday afternoon in Seattle. Bears versus Seahawks. The 4-10 Bears, who are 1-8 in their last 9, and that one victory came on Thanksgiving in Detroit and came basically at the buzzer. It was a last-second field goal to beat freaking Detroit. That's how bad this crap has been. And for Seattle, it's not a whole lot better for them. You had Russell Wilson go out with the injury. He missed a few games with the finger injury, and they're sitting at 5-9. Their defense gives up a ton of yards, but doesn't give up a ton of points, to which people looking at this matchup that still for some reason want the Bears to win this game, I don't know why you would, will sit there and say, well, the Bears can move the ball on them. This is a chance for a big game for Justin Fields. A couple problems with that. Number 1, we can't even get Justin Fields to stay healthy for a whole damn season, because now apparently he's got an ankle injury, and we're not sure of his status at the time of this recording on Friday for Sunday afternoon's game. So Bears fans taking to their Christmas list and saying, above all else, I do not want to watch Andy Dalton start another game for this damn Chicago Bears team. Stick that in your stocking and smoke it. Talk about a fucking lump of coal for everybody. We got to sit there and watch this Bears football on Sunday afternoon. At least let us watch the young kid Justin Fields. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask, I say? But it's been bad for Seattle too. 5-9. They're done. And now you look at an offseason where there's a possibility that Russell Wilson's dealt. There's a possibility that Pete Carroll may be gone. You might say, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I might be just jumping ahead a little bit, but Pete Carroll's got to be able to see the writing on the wall too. And he's almost 70 years of age, if not 70 now. Like, big changes could be coming in Seattle at the end of this season. Certainly, you would have to imagine some big changes are coming for the Chicago Bears too. As far as that notion of at least the Seahawks, while their defense is giving up a ton of yards, they're not giving up a ton of points. You can point to, well, they're doing a good job of, they're bending but not breaking and stopping teams forcing field goals. Yeah, except this is what I've talked about the past couple of years with the Bears defense. It's misleading. You can look at stats and try to say that they're mathematical factualities, but that's not always true. Context can matter even in the terms of stats and figures and numbers and data. And in this particular case, when you look at the Seahawks, part of the reason they're not giving up more points is because teams can play it closer to the vest. They don't have to play it so aggressively because the Seahawks offense fucking sucks right now. Right? Why would I take unnecessary risks, unnecessary chances when their offense sucks? And that's even with Russ, who, probably rushed back too soon from the finger injury. I don't know. But you look at this, and you're just basically looking at 2 teams counting down the string this year. That's what it is. If you're the Bears, and Bears fans especially, the one thing you've got to look forward to, honestly, on Sunday, is that hopefully Justin Fields plays. Because at least if Justin Fields plays in this game, you have something to get excited about. You have something to focus on. You have something to say, win or lose, I can at least pay attention to this, and I emotionally am invested and give a crap. Because while I know Matt Nagy is a turd Ferguson numbskull and has done a horrible job of helping Justin Fields in his development, and it is way too early, especially because of the numbskullery of Nagy, to know one way or another whether Justin Fields is the franchise future for the Bears or not. And I want to be clear here. Let me just take a slight tangent and say, if you're saying that Justin Fields is for sure the franchise guy, you are not basing that on reality. You are basing that on hoping, wishing, and wanting it to be. I'm not saying it can't be. It very well could be. But it also very well could not be. It is really, really hard to gauge much of anything with Justin Fields this year, which is the problem of allowing Pace and Nagy to stay around, because Pace built a horrible team around Justin Fields, and Matt Nagy was allowed to stay, and he's a horrible play caller and head coach, period. He failed to adapt and adjust his system and scheme for the personnel that he had and the quarterback that was running it. I mean, there's nothing else to say here. So if you're sitting there thinking that he automatically is the dude, you'd be mad at me all you want, but go cry about it somewhere else, Snowflake. I don't give a shit. We don't know. We can't even really, truly, effectively evaluate Justin Fields until next season. That's the reality. That is absolutely the reality. So you want to be able to play these last 3 games and make him through them healthy, because at least he gets more live game experience. Like, that's the one thing you've got to look for. The one thing that stuns me going into this game is that the Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites. I know the Bears suck, and it's in Seattle, but the Seahawks fucking suck too. They're 5-9 for a reason. And the record wouldn't be that markedly better if Russell Wilson didn't miss any time. Let's also be clear about that. You've been struggling to get DK Metcalf the ball. Like, there are problems here. They don't even have anybody in that Seahawks offense that's at 500 yards rushing. Like, this is not a good football team either. So, I think that spread is insane to me, even if the Bears have a bunch of people out due to COVID or whatever. Doesn't matter. Now, in terms of who wins, nobody that watches. What's the key to this game for Chicago? Honestly, Justin Fields outplaying Russell Wilson. If he does, the Bears can absolutely win. Be a nice little statement game for Justin Fields at this point in his career. It'd also be a nice little thing for any Bears fans that are saying, man, I wish they would have traded for Russell Wilson instead. I don't think many think about that now, but if you do, like, hopefully this game on Sunday will put you in a spot you'd be like, no, I'm good. Jeff was right. I'm glad we didn't trade. They didn't trade for him. But I look at this game and it should be a lower scoring affair, some type of 21-17 crap. The Seahawks, even though Russ hasn't been great, like, they still have Russell Wilson, so I'll pick the Seahawks to win. But I totally would not be surprised if the Bears came out there, because now that they're eliminated from playoff contention, they have absolutely nothing to play for. Now I could totally see them finding a way to win this game that does them no fucking good. Just like it does none of us any good to actually sit down and watch this garbage on Sunday afternoon, especially if Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback. And that goes for Seahawks fans too. At this point in time, why would you bother watching this game? I can't imagine why. I know why Bears fans would. It's called addiction. Addiction to what, you ask? 3, 2, 1. Bears football!